Have you ever walked into a room, maybe a meeting at work or a party, and before anyone has even opened their mouth, before you've even made eye contact, you just felt heavy, like the air in the room was thick with something you couldn't quite name?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have all felt that.
Mm.
You walk in and you just want to turn around and walk right back out.
Right. And conversely, you meet someone for the first time, and within 3 seconds, you're thinking, yes,
Yeah.
I want to be around this person. I feel safer. I feel energized.
We usually dismiss that as vibes or intuition.
Yeah.
Or maybe we say we have a gut feeling about someone. It's this vague thing we can't really quantify.
Exactly. But here is the provocative question to kick us off today. What if that isn't just a feeling? What if that sensation is actually data? What if you are quite literally a walking radio tower?
Yeah?
What if you are transmitting a broadcast signal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week that is dictating exactly what happens to you, who you meet, and even how much money ends up in your bank account?
It's a terrifying thought when you put it that way. Because it implies we aren't just passive observers of our lives watching the movie happen to us. We are the projectors. We are the broadcasters.
And that is exactly what we are unpacking today. We are doing a deep dive into a topic that sounds like a bit of a contradiction in terms quantum personal development. Now, I know. As soon as I say quantum personals, half our listeners are rolling their eyes thinking we're going to talk about magic crystals.
And the other half are worried we're going to break out a chalkboard and start doing advanced calculus.
Right. But we aren't doing either. We are looking at the intersection of quantum mechanics, biology, and psychology. We've got a stack of notes here based on a transcript of a lecture that is honestly mind-bending. It strips away the woo-woo aspect of positive thinking, the just smile and be happy stuff, and looks at it as a mechanical law.
It really is an instruction manual.
Yeah.
It covers the physics of consciousness, how our childhood literally wires our hard drives, and the practical neuroplasticity needed to change it.
And I have to say, the source material for this is fascinating because it's incredibly dense with data. We are going to strictly follow the rule of anonymity today. We aren't going to name the lectures or the institutions. We are stripping away the labels to get to the raw truth of the data. It's like we've found a user manual for the human machine that nobody bothered to give us at birth.
And the mission for this deep dive is to understand 3 specific laws mentioned in the material: the law of Boomerang, the law of resonance, and the law of balance. If we can understand those, we can ostensibly hack the system.
Hack the system. I like that. So let's start at the very bottom, the physics. Because if we don't get the physics right, the rest of this just sounds like motivational poster fluff. The source material starts by talking about the atom.
Right, and this is the foundation for everything else we're going to discuss. We have to look at what we are made of. If you remember high school science, we used to draw atoms like little solar systems, a nucleus in the middle, and electrons orbiting like planets.
Solid little marbles.
Exactly. But the source reminds us that quantum physicists have since smashed that nucleus open. They looked inside the marble, and what did they find?
It wasn't more marbles.
No. It was quarks, bosons, light particles, and waves. It was energy.
This is the part that always breaks my brain a little bit. If you zoom in close enough to a human hand, or a solid oak table, or this microphone in front of me.
It's not solid. It's mostly empty space and vibration. I like the fan analogy for this. Imagine a ceiling fan spinning at high speed. To your eye, it looks like a solid disk. If you threw a ping pong ball at it, it would bounce off. You can't put your hand through it. It acts solid.
Right.
But if you turn the power off and the blades stop, you realize it's 99% empty space. The solidity was just an illusion created by the speed of the movement. We are the fan. We look solid because our atoms are vibrating at such a high frequency, but we are basically condensed information and light.
So if I'm vibrating, that means I'm emitting a frequency. Like a radio station.
Precisely. And that's not a metaphor. You are emitting an electromagnetic signature. And the source material actually breaks this down into 3 specific broadcasting stations within the human body. And the volume of traffic coming out of these stations is staggering.
Let's walk through them because the numbers here are wild. Station number 1, the mind.
The mind. The data here suggests that the average human processes between 60,000 to 90,000 thoughts per day.
Wait, pause on that. 90,000. That is almost 1 thought per second, every single second you're awake.
It's an avalanche. It's a relentless stream. And here is the key physics point. Every single one of those thoughts is an energy pulse. It's a frequency being emitted. You aren't just thinking inside your skull. You're broadcasting 90,000 signals a day.
That makes me feel exhausted just hearing it. Okay, so that's the brain. Station number 2, the mouth.
The mouth. We speak roughly 20,000 words a day. And the source describes each word not just as communication, but as a command code, a sound wave that carries an instruction.
A command code, like programming a computer. Print this, delete that.
Exactly. But then we get to station number 3, which the material argues is actually the most powerful one.
Yeah.
And this is where most people get it wrong. Station 3 is the heart.
This was the part that really surprised me. I always think of the brain as the CEO. The brain runs the show, the heart just pumps the blood, but the data says otherwise.
It's a common misconception. We think logic rules. But scientifically, the heart generates a magnetic field that is 5,000 times stronger than the brain's.
Whoa, hold on, 5,000. Is that a real number or is that internet math?
No, that's the actual measurement of the magnetic field. The brain has a stronger electrical field, but the heart dominates the magnetic field. And it has an electrical current that is 60 times stronger than the brain.
So let's play that out. If I'm thinking one thing with my brain, let's say I'm standing in front of a mirror doing affirmations. I'm saying I am wealthy, I am successful. That's the brain signal.
Right.
But in my chest, in my heart, I feel tight. I feel scared. I feel like a fraud.
Then the heart wins. Every time. The signal is 5,000 times louder. You are broadcasting fear on a stadium sound system and success on a whisper. The universe or the quantum field can barely hear your thoughts because your feelings are drowning them out.
That explains so much. That explains why positive thinking usually fails for people. You can't just think it, you have to feel it.
Exactly. Coherence matters. And this leads us to the central metaphor the source uses to explain how the universe processes these signals. They call it the universal box.
The box. I loved this analogy because it's so beautifully simple. It's not some mystical, judgmental, bearded man in the sky. It's a box.
Think of it like a server or a cloud storage system. Every one of those 90,000 thoughts, 20,000 words, and every pulse from your heart is being uploaded to this box.
And here is the twist, and this is the part that kind of scared me. The box has no personality.
No personality, no filter, no sense of humor. The source is very specific about this. The box has a default setting, and that setting is yes. Just yes. It doesn't know good or bad. It doesn't know, I was just joking. It just says yes. So if you wake up, look in the mirror ground and say, oh, I look so old and tired, the box says,
less. You are old and tired.
And it arranges your biological reality to confirm that fatigue. It lowers your energy. It sags your posture.
Okay, but what if I try to trick it? What if I say, I want to be rich?
This is the classic trap. If you say, I want money, the box says, yes, you want money. It confirms the state of wanting.
So I just keep wanting it.
You keep wanting it. You don't get it. You get the experience of wanting it.
Yeah.
Because that's what you broadcasted. I want implies I don't have. The box confirms the lack.
That is a cruel technicality. It's like a genie that takes everything literally.
It's not cruel. It's mechanical. The computer program. It gives you exactly what you input, not what you meant to input.
So we have this machine running in the background saying yes to everything. But where does the initial programming come from? Because I don't remember sitting down as a baby and deciding to program myself with anxiety or self-doubt or a fear of public speaking.
No, of course not. And that takes us to the next layer of this deep dive, the programming phase, or what the source calls the black box.
This is the 0 to 7 year window.
Right. The source explains that between birth and age 7, a child's brain is functioning on a completely different wavelength. It's primarily in a theta state.
Theta, that's the dream state, right?
It's a hypnosis state.
Yep.
It's the state you're in just before you fall asleep or right when you wake up. It's a state of pure absorption.
So a kid under 7 is basically a walking open hard drive. No firewall, no antivirus.
No firewall, no logic barrier. A child under 7 doesn't have the capacity to say, oh, Dad is just having a bad day at work. That's why he's yelling. The child doesn't have the analytical mind yet. The child just records the energy. If a mother feels worthless during pregnancy, and the source notes this starts even in the womb, that chemical and emotional signature is recorded in the child as a baseline reality.
So if my dad was distant, I don't record, Dad is busy. I record love equals distance.
Exactly. You record, I am not worth attention. And that becomes the operating system. After age 7, the conscious mind kicks in, the beta waves start. That's our waking thinking state, and that recording gets locked in a black box. It runs in the background for the rest of your life unless you rewrite it.
And this is why we react the way we do as adults. We think we are responding to the present moment, but we aren't.
The source distinguishes between reaction and response. A reaction is a playback. Someone cuts you off in traffic and you explode. That explosion isn't about the traffic. It's a playback of a recording from when you were 5 years old and felt disrespected or powerless.
There was a really weird specific example in the text that I have to bring up because it shows how physical this is. The sweaty water myth. Did you catch that?
It's such a perfect example of a nonsense program becoming a biological reality.
So break it down for us.
The source mentions a parent telling a young child, don't drink water while you're sweaty or you'll get sick.
Which, is that a thing? I feel like my grandma might have said that, but I never knew if it was real.
It's not medically true. It's an old wives' tale. But to the child in that theta state, the parent is a god. The parent's word is law. So the child records sweat plus water equals sickness.
Okay, so the kid grows up, they are 40 years old, they go for a run, they drink a sports drink.
And they get sick. Their brain literally induces nausea or cramps.
But the water isn't making them sick.
No, the program is making them sick. The box looks at the input. Okay, we're sweating, and we are drinking liquid. It checks the hard drive. It finds the file from age 4 that says, this kills us. And the box says, yay, yes, make him sick. This is the nocebo effect, the opposite of placebo. You believe it will hurt you, so your biology manufactures the hurt.
That is wild. It shows how physical this programming is. It's not just I have low self-esteem. It's my body reacts to stimuli based on rules written when I was a toddler.
Precisely. And this leads us directly into the mechanics of how we interact with the world now as adults. We've got the stations broadcasting. We've got the childhood programming running the signal. Now we need to look at the laws of operation.
The laws. This is where we get into the how-to of the universe. Let's start with the Boomerang law.
The Boomerang law is the source's way of explaining energy conservation and return. Imagine you are standing inside a giant glass dome.
Okay, I'm in a glass dome. I can see out, but nothing gets out.
Well, the energy goes out, hits the dome, and bounces back. Whatever energy leaves you, whether it's judgment, love, fear, anger, hits that glass dome of the universe and bounces back to you.
So if I'm sitting here judging someone, let's say I'm scrolling social media and I see an influencer and I think, oh, look at that person. They're so fake. They're so lazy. They didn't earn that. I think I'm judging them.
That's the illusion. You think the arrow's pointing out.
Yeah.
But the source says because of the Boomerang law, you are actually ordering laziness and fakeness for yourself. The universe hears the frequency of lazy, says yes, and bounces that vibration back into your life.
So I won't necessarily become lazy.
No, but you will suddenly find yourself surrounded by lazy people.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hire an assistant who does nothing. You'll get a contractor who ghosts you. You ordered the lazy frequency, so the universe delivers it to your doorstep.
Because I broadcasted the signal. I ordered it off the menu.
You ordered it.
That connects to the second law, which I think is the most controversial one for people to hear. The resonance law.
Oh.
Because we always hear opposites attract.
The source completely debunks that. They argue that in the quantum field, opposites do not attract. Like attracts like. We don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. Or more specifically, we attract our frequency.
This is the pattern match.
It's a pattern match. We attract people who validate our childhood recordings. If you have a recording in your black box that says, love is authoritarian because of a strict father, you will not be attracted to a gentle, kind partner. You will feel no spark.
Right, you'll say they're too nice, they're boring.
Exactly. No chemistry. But then you meet someone who is controlling, critical, and emotionally unavailable, and your subconscious goes, ding, 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 this feels like home. You attract the frequency that matches your program.
There is a specific example about complaining that really hit home for me. The jealous sister-in-law or the lazy coworker.
Oh, this is a trap so many of us fall into. We have a difficult person in our lives, say, jealous relative. And we go to brunch with our friends, and what do?
We vent. We spill the tea. Can you believe what she said?
We spend an hour talking about how jealous she is. We relive the story. We mimic her voice.
We think we're just getting it off our chest. It feels good.
But look at the mechanics. You are spending an hour broadcasting the frequency of jealousy. You are vibrating at the level of jealousy.
Yeah.
The box says yes, jealousy, so the resonance law kicks in. You won't just keep that sister-in-law. You will start meeting a jealous boss. You'll make a new friend who turns out to be possessive. You are tuning your radio to the jealousy channel, so that's the only music you can hear.
So venting is actually magnetizing.
In this model.
Yes.
It's reinforcing the signal. You are painting another coat of red paint on the wall you say you hate.
That's terrifying. And it gets worse when we look at the time trap. The source broke down our thoughts by percentage, and the stats are depressing.
It was a sobering statistic. The source suggests that for the average person, 70% of their daily thoughts are focused on the past. And usually it's not the highlight reel, it's the blooper reel. Regret I should have said that, replaying an argument from 10 years ago.
70% in the past, just haunting ourselves.
And 25% are focused on the future. But not a fun future, usually anxiety. What if I lose my job? What if the economy crashes?
So that leaves, let me do the math.
5%. Only 5% of our thoughts are actually in the moment.
So here's the kick. If I'm spending 70% of my energy thinking about the past, and the buck says yes,
You are quite literally recreating the past. You are taking the energy of yesterday, uploading it to the box, and the box downloads it into your tomorrow. You are living in a time loop. You aren't experiencing a new future. You're just experiencing a recycled past because you won't stop broadcasting it.
this makes me want to stop thinking altogether. It feels like every thought is a landmine.
It's not about stopping thinking. It's about becoming conscious of the glitches. Which brings us to section 4, the glitch in our language. Because even when we try to think positively, the source says we often mess it up with our grammar.
The lemon test. We have to do this for the listeners. If you are sitting there listening to us, I want you to actually do this.
Go hear it.
Okay, listener, wherever you are, unless you're driving or operating a heavy machinery, I want you to close your eyes for a second. Imagine I'm standing in front of you. In my hand, I have a bright yellow waxy lemon. I take a sharp knife and I slice it open. The juice squirts out. You can smell that sharp citrusette. I pick up a slice. It's dripping with juice, and I hold it up to your mouth. Now open wide and bite down hard into that sour lemon.
Okay, my mouth is watering.
Mine too. My jaw literally tingled right here in the back. But there is no lemon. We are in a recording studio.
This is the power of the brain. It cannot distinguish between a real lemon and an imagined one. The chemistry released the saliva. The enzymes is identical.
So the implication here is massive. When I sit on my couch on a Tuesday night and watch a TV show about betrayal, murder, high-stress drama,
Your brain is chemically experiencing betrayal and murder. It's releasing cortisol. It's releasing stress hormones. You are storing that as trauma as if it happened to you. The box doesn't know it's a TV show. The box says, yes, we're in a high-stress situation. Pump the adrenaline.
we are literally traumatizing ourselves for entertainment.
We are. And then we sabotage ourselves with our words. The source talks about the future tense trap.
This is when I say, I will be successful. It's going to happen. One day I will be happy.
Right. I will be rich. The problem is the timeline. Future tense is a distinct timeline that never arrives. It's like a carrot on a stick attached to your forehead.
Yeah.
No matter how fast you run, the carrot is always 2 feet ahead. If you say, I will be, the box says, yes, you will be. It keeps the wealth perpetually in the future. It never brings it to the now.
So I'm pushing it away with my grammar.
You're keeping it at arm's length. You have to say, I am. Even if it feels like a lie. I am wealthy. I am healthy.
Yeah.
You have to claim the state in the present tense.
And then there's the anecdote in the source that I found both tragic and hilarious. The tea story.
Oh, the woman with the tea. This is a perfect example of imprecise coding.
So tell the story.
The source describes a woman who was sitting with a friend drinking tea and venting about her relationships. She had been hurt by some bad partners. And in a moment of frustration, she slams her cup down and says, I just want all men away from me.
A relatable sentiment.
Sure, but she meant bad men. She meant romantic partners who hurt me. But her command code was all men.
All men away.
And the result. Over the next few months, her father stopped visiting. Her brother stopped calling. Her sons drifted away and got busy. She manifested total isolation from the male gender because her command was too broad. The box said, yes, all men away.
It's like a genie granting a wish, literally just to mess with you.
It is exactly like that. We have to be incredibly precise with our broadcast. We have to say what we mean.
Okay, so we've covered the physics, the programming, the laws, and the language glitches, but the source material also goes deep into the emotional software. Section 5. The 5 negative emotional patterns.
The source suggests that almost every human suffers from at least one, if not all, of these 5 core viruses.
Let's run through them. Virus number 1, non-approval or non-acceptance.
This is the people-pleaser virus, the deep need to please others to survive. The symptom here is the martyr. I sacrificed everything for you. I swept the floor, I cooked the meal, and you don't even care.
The hair and broom idiom was mentioned in the source. I made my hair into a broom for you.
It's a vivid image. But the result of this virus is that you attract people who ignore you. Because your broadcast is, I have to earn your love by suffering. So you attract people who let you suffer.
Virus number 2, worthlessness. This one hit me hard. I call it the burnt cake syndrome.
This is such a common behavior, especially among parents. You have a guest over for dinner. You bake a cake. You cut the slices. You give the guest the perfect fluffy slice. And then you look at the pan and there's a broken, burnt piece stuck to the side.
And you scrape it off and say, I'll just have this one.
Or you use the chipped plate and give the guess the fine china.
You think you're being polite? You think you're being humble.
But the signal you are sending to the box is, I am secondary. I deserve the burned parts of life. You are telling the universe you are a second-class citizen.
And so the universe serves you burnt experiences.
Precisely. If you treat yourself as secondary, the universe treats you as secondary. You cannot broadcast I am trash and expect the universe to treat you like treasure.
Virus number 3, inadequacy.
The inner critic. I can't do it. It's impossible. This leads to comparison. And comparison leads to jealousy. And jealousy, as we discussed, blocks your own success because you're tuning into the frequency of what others have rather than creating your own.
Virus number 4, self-loathing. Not loving self.
This is living in regret, being angry at your past self. The source proposes a test for this. And I challenge listeners to try this, even though it's incredibly uncomfortable.
The mirror test.
Go to a mirror, look right into your own pupils, not at your nose, not at your hair, into your eyes, and genuinely say, I love you.
I've tried this. It is excruciating. You want to look away. You want to laugh nervous.
Most people can't do it. They physically recoil. And if you can't love yourself, you cannot receive love from others. It's a frequency mismatch. If your frequency is self-hate and someone tries to send you love, it won't land. It's like trying to play a cassette tape in a CD player.
And finally, virus number 5, insecurity and mistrust.
Fear of the unknown. This manifests as anxiety and the need to control everything. If you don't trust the universe, you try to micromanage it. And that is an exhausting, low-frequency way to live.
So we're all walking around with these viruses, broadcasting, static, creating burnt cake realities. How do we fix it? Section 6, rewiring the brain. Because we need to know if this is permanent.
The good news is neuroplasticity.
Yeah.
The brain is not concrete, it's clay. The source explains that a thought is not just a ghost, it's a physical road in the brain, a neural pathway.
And we have gardeners in our heads.
Glial cells. The source calls them the gardeners or the night janitors. At night while you sleep, these cells come out and they clean. They sweep away unused paths. This is called synaptic pruning, and they strengthen the ones you used a lot that day.
So if I spent all day worrying, the gardeners say, oh, this worry highway is getting a lot of traffic. Let's pave it. Let's add another lane.
Exactly. And they look at the gratitude path and say, nobody walked here today. Let's put up some weeds. Let's break up the asphalt. You are physically building the infrastructure of your brain with your daily focus.
Now everyone talks about the 21-day rule for habits, but the source says that's not enough.
This is a crucial distinction. The source argues for the 21 versus 63-day rule. 21 days creates a trail. Think of walking through tall grass. After 21 days, you can see where you walked. But it's fragile. If you stop, the grass grows back in a week.
So 21 days is just the rough draft.
It's the rough draft. 63 days, which is 3 cycles of 21, is the time required to pave the road, to make it a highway, to make it permanent. Most people quit at 21 because they think I did it. But the cement hasn't set. You need 63 days to rewrite a program in the black box.
That explains why so many New Year's resolutions fail by February 1st. We stopped pouring the concrete.
We stopped too soon.
The source also gave us 3 very specific techniques to help with this rewiring. Technique 1, the burning ritual. This sounds dramatic.
It is, and it needs to be. This is for unfinished business. Arguments you lost in the shower, trauma, anger at an ex. The brain hates open loops. It's like a song stuck in your head. It plays over and over because it didn't finish.
So how do we close the loop?
You write it down. And the source emphasizes, be raw, be rude, curse if you need to. Write exactly what the black box is screaming. I hate you for this. I felt stupid when. Get it all out of the body and onto the paper.
And then?
Burn it. Safely, of course. But watch it turn to ash.
Why fire? Why not just shred it or delete the file?
Because fire is a primal destructive element. Watching the paper turn to ash and smoke signals to the subconscious mind, not the logical mind, the deep mind, that this file is deleted. It's a physical representation of release. The source says it's incredibly effective for stopping those repetitive looping thoughts.
Technique 2, mirror work. We touched on this.
It's looking into your own eyes to heal the inner child who felt unseen. Using the phrase, I see you, I love you, I approve of you. It feels silly at first, but remember, you are reprogramming a biological machine. You need to input the new code.
And technique 3, the compliment override. This is for dealing with those jealous sister-in-law types we mentioned.
This is a ninja move. When you are dealing with a negative person, their frequency is low. If you judge them, you join them in the low frequency. To protect yourself, you must find one thing to compliment.
Even if I hate them.
Even if you can't stand them. I love your shoes. That color is great on you.
Why?
It disrupts the frequency. You are throwing a high-frequency bomb, a compliment, into a low-frequency field. It forces a shift. It protects your energy bucket from getting drained.
Speaking of energy buckets, this brings us to section 7, the physics of relationships, and the scary concept of sin transfer.
The sin transfer, or the energy bucket concept.
Yeah.
Imagine we all walk around with a bucket of energy. Some is positive gold, some is negative trash or
Yeah,
suns.
okay.
When you gossip about someone, or when you sit there silently judging them, look at her, she's so messy, you're opening a tube between your bucket and theirs.
That connects.
A quantum connection. And the physics dictate a flow. You suck their negative energy, their trash, into your bucket. And you send your positive energy, your vitality to them.
Whoa, so I'm paying them.
You are paying them with your life force for the privilege of judging them. You take their sin and you give them your power.
That is the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals.
It really is. The source says if you knew this, you would never judge anyone again. Not because it's nice or moral, but because it's too expensive. You literally cannot afford the energy cost.
And there's another part to this physics, the X-distance theory.
This explains why people get annoying. Imagine two people separated by a balanced distance. Let's call it X. That's the healthy boundary.
Okay, we are at distance X.
If you judge me or think negatively about me, you are energetically pushing me away. You are pushing me to distance 2X.
I'm shoving you back with my mind.
Right. But relationships seek balance. The rubber band effect kicks in. To restore the balance back to X, I will unknowingly come back at you with double the force.
So if I think you are untrustworthy, I push you away.
And I will suddenly act doubly untrustworthy toward you. If you think he's rude, I will become ruder. You are creating the monster you fear by pushing it away.
So the only way to win
Is to stay at X, to stay neutral or positive. I love you, you are safe. It keeps the dynamic stable.
This is mind-bending. It puts so much responsibility on us, we can't just blame the other person.
Radical responsibility. That's what quantum personal development is.
We have to talk about the physical cost. Section 8, the physiological cost. Because this isn't just energy, it's flesh and blood. We touched on this with the sweaty water, but it goes deeper.
It goes much deeper. The source is very clear. Emotions are chemicals. Every emotion releases a specific peptide, and specific emotions target specific organs.
Let's look at the hit list.
Anger hits the liver. If you are constantly angry, you are bombarding your liver with toxins.
Grief.
Grief hits the lungs. Respiratory issues often track with deep, unresolved sadness.
Unsaid words.
The throat and thyroid. If you swallow your truth, you get thyroid issues.
And being stuck in the past.
The intestines and gut. Constipation, digestion issues. It's physically holding on to waste from the past.
And the cells, they get addicted to this. This was the part that terrified me the most. Cellular addiction.
This is critical. If you spend 20 years being angry, your cells adapt. They develop receptors specifically for the anger chemical. They get addicted to it just like a junkie needs a fix.
So if I wake up and decide today's a beautiful day, I'm going to be happy.
Your cells start going through withdrawal. They look around and say, hey, where's the anger? We need our fix. We are hungry.
So they self-sabotage.
Yes, you will unknowingly pick a fight or bring up a bad memory or drop your coffee mug just to release that anger chemical so your cells can get high. You become a drug addict to your own misery.
That is horrifying. But it explains so much. It explains why we stay in ruts. Our body is chemically demanding the bad vibes.
Which is why the change is so hard. When you try to be happy, your body physically fights you. It feels wrong to be happy because you are detoxing from the addiction to sadness.
So bringing this all home, what do? We are creators, not victims.
That's the recap. The box just says yes. The gardener just sweeps the paths you use. You are the one operating the controls.
The source suggests a challenge, a 7-day diet.
A mental diet. For 7 days, try not to speak ill of yourself or anyone else. Treat yourself like a guest in your own home. Use the good china. Eat the best piece of cake.
And if you slip up, because let's be honest, I can't go 7 minutes without judging someone in traffic.
If you slip up, cancel, clear, delete. Correct it immediately. Don't spiral. Just get back on the wagon.
I love that. And here is the final provocative thought to leave our listeners with today. The source mentions frequencies. That heaven and hell aren't places you go when you die. They are frequencies you live in right now.
Above 200 hertz is the heaven state, joy, peace, love. Below 200 hertz is the hell state, anger, shame, fear.
And if your cells are chemically addicted to the hell of anger because it's familiar, the question is, are you brave enough to go through the withdrawal symptoms of becoming happy?
That is the ultimate question. Happiness takes courage because it's a new chemical state.
Wow. I'm going to be thinking about that box all week. Every time I say I'm tired, I'm going to hear that ding. Yes.
Time to start broadcasting a new signal.
Absolutely. Start broadcasting today. Thanks for diving deep with us.
See you next time.